Welcome to If These Pages Could Talk. Today we are chatting about the anti-hero, love triangles, and fitting being an author into, well, life. So I am Kiersten Marcil, author and adventurer into history. I am here with my co-host.
Savannah Storm, romance writer.
And today we have for you our guest, Faith. So Faith, please introduce yourself.
I'm Faith Cameron, historical romance author. Pretty new to writing in general, but I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm just a pretty average person, not too much exciting going on. I'm married. I have 2 kids of my own, 2 stepkids, a house full of pets, husky, a border collie, 2 cats, getting chickens soon. That's exciting. Ooh. And yeah, just hanging out with the wildlife and writing, of course.
Awesome. Well, we're so glad you're here. I thought it would be fun to kick us off with a classic traditional game of this or that. So I'll quick throw a this or that at you. Faith, you tell us what your choice is. Sev, I'll answer, and maybe we'll chat about that too. So okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start with this or that, dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
No chocolate. Can you believe that one?
What?
It's a bummer. I know. I just discovered I was allergic to chocolate.
No. That's shocking.
Oh my God.
I had the same reaction. Yes, it's shocking. So no chocolate for this girl. Oh. Although I do sneak it when I don't have anything going on.
Oh my gosh. Because I thought that was in your bio that it was chocolate for breakfast for you.
It was until about 6 months ago. My bio will have to be updated with my life's disappointments to be sure.
Oh, bugger. When I learned I was allergic to dairy, yeah, it just life's disappointments because I love cheese and I cannot do cheese.
Yeah, I'm lactose intolerant too, but it has to be like a lot of dairy, like milkshakes or something like that, where it's really dairy heavy. But cheese, yeah, oh, so good.
Horrible. Yeah,
I can't do feta.
You can't do feta?
I'm lactose intolerant as well, but I can do cheddar. I just can't do feta.
Oh, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder why that is.
I found out like on a flight.
Oh, that is not when you want to find out.
Yeah, I was like, oh my. Yeah. Fun times.
All good stuff.
Oh, geez. Life, I tell you. Sev.
I know.
Darker milk chocolate, Sev?
Both. Since I'm on keto, I have to find my chocolate. So it's currently diabetic chocolate. And there's one made by Canderel that is called Bubble. And it's my go-to. Yeah, it's milk chocolate, but it's filled with bubbles. So it's got that smooth texture. But yesterday I tried Nova with coconut, also diabetic, and it was a dark chocolate. It was lovely. So I go both ways. Preference would be milk chocolate, like Lindt. If Lindt came out with diabetic chocolate, I would be the happiest person on this planet.
Right. Good. Yeah. Well, I'm so excited because Reese's Pieces just came out with dairy-free chocolate, and I loved those as a kid. So I'm hoping the Easter Bunny treats me well.
Chances of finding it here are like,
oh, bummer. So yeah, so dark chocolate for me, obviously, and I like right around the 70-75% cacao is like the sweet number. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
We're like smoking weed, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God.
All addicting.
Totally. You can't get through a bad day without it. So I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Vacations, adventure or relaxation?
Oh my gosh. I like to dabble in both areas, a little of both. Yeah. Absolutely. Sometimes we head to the mountains, sometimes it's the beach. Usually when you travel with kids, you're going to have adventure, whether you want it or not. So.
Yeah.
And pets, if you bring them, and all that good stuff. So I like it all. I'm one of those people that roll with the punches, and they always seem to find me on vacation.
That's good. Steph?
I went to the beach once. Well, we go once in a while because our favorite place is actually Kruger National Park with all the wild animals and the lions and the elephants. But this time we went down to Durban so I could see my parents, and I just had in my mind sitting on the deck with a cappuccino and writing a novel. You know, that's what I had in mind. But in the end, we went where the kids jumped off a cliff hanging from a rope. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I did not, because I'm sane, right? So I just sat there and watched them be idiots. I couldn't even get across the bridge, the suspension bridge. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
so
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna say relax.
That's a good answer.
I tried cycling as well on the beachfront. I didn't even get 100 meters. And my husband and I, because in my mind I pictured a French, you know, French on a little bicycle, and you're gonna ride with your husband. So romantic. We didn't get far, and we were gone like 10 minutes. So we sat on the bench and waited a decent time before returning the bikes. So definitely relax. Definitely.
Oh, cool.
I
Faith,
mean,
I'm like,
oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was going to say, riding a bike is no joke. It's hard work. It's not like when I was a kid. I tried it as an adult. I really didn't get that much further either. I was exhausted. My thighs were quivering. It was horrible.
We do CrossFit now. So now we have to cycle like 2.4 kilometers or something like that, and in 6 minutes, and we're fine with it. But next time we go down to the beach, I'm definitely going to try the bicycle again and see how far I get.
Good for you.
Funny.
That's so funny. Yeah, because when you were a kid, like I don't know about you, but I grew up in the generation and you know, the go out on your bike and don't come home till the sun comes down. And you're right. I don't think I could do it. I'd have to work up like Seth does.
Start napping.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've got a cycle appointment. I need to go nap. I'll be back in half an hour.
Oh my God.
Funny.
So Faith, I'm like you. We do a combo. So I have 2 teenage sons, and we have discovered the joys of renting a Verbo.
Yeah.
And yes, because then we're not paying for the restaurant fees that goes into the Verbo. So we, you know, cook, we sleep in, and then around noon, everybody just kind of stumbles out, and then we go do the adventure, whatever that is going to be, which is usually a museum because I'm like that. But there's beach too. There has
All
to be
right, for
beach.
non-Americans, what is a Verbo?
Verbo is you can rent a house. You rent somebody's house.
Because I'm picturing it's a moving vehicle. That's what I was. Oh, that's a good idea. You know? Like an RV. Brilliant.
Oh my gosh. It's so fun. Like, and you know, you never know what you're gonna get. But we've never had like a true bad experience. And yeah, and they're so much more convenient just to have your own space, and the kids have their own space, and you know, my boys will chat until the middle of the night and they're fine, and the adults will have a little quiet time out in the living room to write, or you know, my husband can't always shut down, so poor guys doing a little work in the evenings. So
That's funny.
yeah. Oh, city or off the beaten path?
What's that?
Do you prefer cities or going off the beaten path?
For sure, the beaten path. Yes, I don't. Cities are very crowded and lots of people, and gives me anxiety. And so do skyscrapers. I went to the Empire State Building once. I wasn't happy.
Oh.
So yeah, definitely the beaten path, somewhere where there's big open trails, no people, and good stuff. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Steph?
Off the beaten path.
Yeah.
I've been to the Empire State Building. It was closed.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I stood underneath it and I was like, well, that's as far as I'm gonna get.
I'm missing too much.
Oh my gosh.
A lot of people walking around somewhere up high.
Yeah, no. You know, it's so funny. I'm from Albany, New York, and I have never been to the Empire State Building or the Statue of Liberty, or haven't
Are
done
you?
that.
That's so funny. Because I live in the Adirondacks.
Oh, cool. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not far at all.
Nope. More
All
than an
right.
hour from you.
Coffee date,
Yeah.
coffee date.
Yes. Seriously.
Mhm.
Next time I'm up at Fort Ticonderoga, I'll like wave.
That's
I
so
love that
thoughtful of
place.
you.
I know. No, that is a good idea. We should catch up sometime. Are
Yeah.
you a physical book or an ebook reader?
Ebook. It was a hard transition, but I did it, and now I'm never going back.
Interesting. Okay. What I haven't made the transition. So what is it that you like about ebooks?
I like the lighting. They're easy to read in the dark. I don't have to have artificial light. I have to go somewhere I can read in my bed with lights off so I don't disturb my husband.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was difficult for me to make the switch. Once I got someone gave me a Kindle, I had it for a year before I even picked up the thing. And then once I did, I was like, oh, this isn't so bad. And then, yeah, hard copies. I don't mind them, but I don't collect them like I used to.
Yeah. Okay. It's better for the
Yeah,
environment. That's for sure.
that's true. That's true.
So,
Let me see. Let me see. An ebook is instant. You have a
Mhm.
wider selection of books to
Mhm.
choose from, right? So they deliver it instantly, right? There's
Yeah.
no dusting. There's no dusting. You can read multiple books at the same time and it remembers where you are in every single book,
That is nice.
right? So I'm an ebook reader. Also, I'm in South Africa, so the chances of me actually getting to hold my book are like zero. So ebook all the way.
Sorry. Okay,
She's
one
gonna
more.
cry
And
now.
I am gonna cry. Well, that again, that shelf right there is just the research for my books, like that
Wow.
entire shelf. So we have a library in our house, a dedicated room, just wall to wall books, because we're just have my husband loves ebooks and I haven't made the transition yet. So
See, what I like about ebooks, there's this whole series called The Emotional Thesaurus.
yeah.
Have you heard of those
Mhm.
books?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
like books where I can say, find for me this word, grief or sadness or whatever. So even if you've got research books, I would have had them
Mhm.
electronically because then finding stuff is so much quicker. And I'm looking for this phrase, find it for me in this book. And that's the joy of ebooks for me.
Yeah.
And I hate
That's-
dusting.
I get that. I get that. Well, you know, it's funny. I do like some of the online resources, like the archives, internet archives are fantastic. That's where I get the Vulgar's dictionary from, which has all the period slang that I use. You're right. To be able to look it up that way actually is much more convenient. But I have found if I'm looking for a specific time period, it's sometimes easier to use the books because not everybody spelled their last names the same way from day to day in the 18th century, and that makes it hard to search. But
Yeah, but you'd know what to look for.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Looking
all
at you.
right. So you're right, Seb. I'm sneaking in there a little bit. You're right.
That's funny.
All right. One more, because this is going to launch us nicely into Facebook. Bad Boys or the Sure and Steady?
Oh, bad boys. Hands down.
Oh, what do you
I
think,
think
Seb?
I like bad boys initially, but all the women think they can convert the bad boy to a good boy, a sure and steady. I see, and that's the thing. For me, sure, the bad boy has an attraction, but you actually want to settle down with a sure and steady. So why can't we have both?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. I think Seb's talking about a little fun on the side.
No,
I'm kidding. Don't let the husband hear me say that.
on this channel we promote
Yeah.
fun on the
I'm
side.
actually quite into reverse harems right now, reading those. So maybe just the best of both worlds.
Interesting.
I know. I see readers talk about dark romances all the time, and I never really heard of that genre, that subgenre. I don't know, but so I started reading them. I was like, this isn't so bad. So then I got into that, and then paranormal from there, and
Faith's
just
dirty
doesn't work.
secrets.
Yeah.
Steph, I'm going to put
Yeah.
you on the spot because that's so fascinating. What, Steph, got you into romance? Like, what was your gateway into reading romance?
My grandmother's Mills and Boons bookshelf when I was 12.
Oh,
Yeah.
very cool.
And I've read so much. It's been 36 years. Am I 30? It'll be 37 this year. I've been reading for 37 years, romance.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah. It's a long time.
yeah. See, Faith, I've said in a previous episode that I'm new to reading romance and didn't really start it until I started writing a story with a strong romance, but I have had it sneak into my library by accident because I don't read the back cover blurbs. I hate that. I just grab a book that looks interesting and read, and I've accidentally grabbed a couple suspense books that were actually romance. So yeah. All right. So your book, No Hero Here.
Yep.
Awesome. Please tell us about it.
I always have a very hard time describing this book without giving stuff away. I will do my best. So it is a love triangle, and it takes place in England with a arranged marriage to a duke, and a highwayman enters the picture, kind of talking smack about the intended and how horrible he is, and really putting the fear of God into this poor woman. So, as the book goes, she gets to know her intended, not the terrible man he was portrayed, and gets into family secrets. And the highwayman is still in the background, kind of trying to get her off the path of where she's heading in her relationship. And it just kind of, it's a happily ever after. I'm really bad at describing this book, by the way. I try so many times, but it's a little bit of a complicated storyline. And
you're scared
but
you're going to
it's
reveal spoilers.
I know, that's what I read reviews for it, and I try to talk about it, and I'm always afraid I'm going to spoil things for people, because it is hard to describe a love triangle without giving away the ending.
Yeah, who's the guy? Yes.
Yes. So, but I mean, it's not, they're not evil people. They're just guys who had a rough break, I think. So it's not, I don't think they're your typical cliched villains or heroes. And I mean, I tried to stay away from that. I don't like body ripper romances. They're just not me. So I just try to make real people with real motivations, why they do things that make sense that you would do in real life, and heroines that aren't running upstairs when they should be running out the door, kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I did the
yeah.
cover for No Child Here. And
You
Faith
did it?
was, yeah. And
Oh,
Faith
nice.
was,
I didn't know who did it.
yeah. And Faith was adamant that the man not look like any of the two. I remember you were like, he can't look
Oh
like
wait, No
this one.
Child Here.
Yeah, No Child Here.
Oh, No Child. I thought you said No Hero Here.
No, I did
Okay.
the No Child
Okay.
Here.
Yes, that I know. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very adamant. They couldn't have dark hair, couldn't have this kind of hair, couldn't have this. Yeah, it was quite
Yes.
interesting how we managed to tweak that.
Yes. Well, I mean, the No Child Here kind of has another love triangle. It's a little different bit of a setup, but I didn't want them to have access to that face so they would know the ending before they even read the book. So yeah. I know it was so difficult, but I really love the end product.
It is, it came out well.
Bright. Yeah, so vibrant, and it's awesome.
Yeah. And as our audience has probably picked up, that is the sequel to No Hero Here.
It is. Each
Yeah.
book is a standalone. There's no cliffhangers. There's a happy ever after. So you don't need to read them in sequence, but yeah, it is a kind of a continuation.
That's cool. So let's go back to No Hero Here. I love that you've got the tagline that not every love story has a hero. So you've started telling this to us already, but is there any of that bad guy versus good guy to this?
I think they're good guys who do bad things for a good reason, kind of deal.
Okay.
It's a book about redemption, second chances.
Oh,
Nicely
So they're
said.
not, they're just
Without
guys trying
revealing anything, you
to.
said that very well.
Thank you. Tried. I really tried. Oh, that's funny.
But your three main characters, is it fair to say they're survivors of previous incidents? Like you have in the back cover copy that your main character, she survived the American Revolutionary War, and now she's
Yeah.
back in England. So, and there's physical harm too, right?
She watched her mother die in childbirth, so she's adamantly against having children, being married, and of course, men in general, after what the redcoats that swam through her plantation did. Um, so yeah, she really has some stuff, but it's not a heavy book. I mean, it does. I think it does have probably some triggers for some people. There's no real, what I'm trying to say. It's all talked about, all the violence, the assaults, and things like that. It's all talked about in abstract.
Mm-hmm.
But so it's dealing with the fallout and the consequences going forward that the story is really about.
Okay. Yeah, because I noticed a lot of the reviews, and you have so many wonderful reviews, which is great. Talk about how, you've got this gorgeous cover, this dramatic cover that but they were surprised by the wit and the lighthearted humor to it as well. So
Rose, the heroine, is a lot like me. She was very easy to write because she's very snarky, very, very sarcastic. She's a roll with the punches kind of gal.
Oh.
And yeah, my heroes, well, one of the triangle, I guess, is exactly like her, snarks right back and very I don't know, very, what's the old-fashioned word, sardonic, that nobody uses anymore.
I like that word. I haven't read it in a while.
Yeah. So I tried to, and actually, I have to say, the book, when it was first written, had a completely different ending. Rose was actually with the other side of the triangle, and it was a little bit darker. And Cassie came back to me and said, "We need to lighten this up, I think." So I said, "Okay." So I rewrote the entire last half of the book, threw in lots of jokes, a little bit of kittens, and voila.
Wow. Oh, that's
Yeah.
fascinating.
So it was actually Cassie's idea to really lighten the story.
Yeah.
You should
Because
use
I think,
the dark part as part of your marketing. Alternative
yeah,
ending.
yeah, I do still have the alternative ending.
Yeah.
I always thought it would be fun to share that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, how cool.
Yeah.
How for you as an author, like, what did you enjoy about writing these imperfect love interests for her?
I enjoyed the interactions, not the writing about something that's not insta love, but how people fall in love, dynamics of who they are, their personalities, their past, where they come from, and how they just kind of build a relationship on imperfectness. I think it's awesome. And I like that part.
That's cool. So which came to you first then? The characters, the setting, dialogue? Like, what's your process in writing?
Oh gosh. I think the overall plot, it was just an idea. Someone who, I love history. Thank you.
Yeah.
Love Revolutionary War. But actually, I love Civil War. If I could write Civil War, I'd do that. But I was told it wasn't as popular as like the Georgian period. So that's how I got into this idea.
Okay.
Kind of transferred idea from the Civil War era, made it Georgian, with that sort of background in mind, and then began to just develop characters. And I don't know, I'm a very spontaneous person. I have ideas, I write them down, I keep writing until something evolves into a plot and a storyline and a character arc. And yeah,
A
it's
pantser.
messy. What's that?
You're a pantser.
Yeah. What's that mean?
It means you write by the seat of your pants.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely me. Yeah. So for no child here, I have about 300,000 words and about a couple different endings. So I just write until something clicks with me and then I run with it.
Very cool.
Yeah, a lot of work.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work to be a pantser. It totally is. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I totally pantsed my first two books, Faith, and I have now plotted my third one because I need plot points to happen in the right way, but they probably could be shuffled. And so we'll see how that goes. We'll see. We'll see how true I stick to that. But
Yeah, I tried plotting once and I had to delete 45,000 words. So I just wasn't feeling it. And now and then I pants the rest of it. But now I'm a plantser, so I plot sort of and still pants it. Because sometimes you've got an idea where you're going, and then suddenly your characters, and the next thing there's a wedding, and you're like, okay, did not see this coming, you know. Yeah, so I plant. That's what I do.
yeah. Faith, since we're on the topic of plotting versus pantsing, have you ever found in your writing that your characters took you somewhere that you were not expecting?
All the time. They all have a different life of their own, and I just kind of go with it until I stop writing and I'm like, where the heck am I going with this? Where are you going with this? Hit the delete button. Not where I want to go. So yeah, sometimes I do have to redirect things, but it's fun. You just kind of adopt the personalities in your head and
Right.
just kind of go with what they're thinking. But it's weird as a writer to develop these people, I think, and live in their head.
Yeah.
Give them their life, and sometimes
Yeah.
the life is good and sometimes it's batshit crazy.
I think that's great writing though, because if they're not real for us, the writer, then how do we make, this escapism for our readers to just really get to know these people? Yeah. Yeah. And then of course, like, yeah, we were saying then they run away on you and you're like, oh no, come back.
That's right.
Yeah.
Rein them in.
Oh
Like
my
cats in a
gosh.
bag.
Yes. And you just gotta kind of keep it tight close. So the time period, how does that affect the plot and the characters?
It's pretty central. Everything started from the Virginia. I can't remember where it started now, but because it's been a while since I've read my first book, I admit it's been a while.
Yeah.
And I've been so involved with book two. So some details have escaped me, I admit. However, everything was really centered around where Rose lived on the plantation along the James River. And that's where the troops had landed. And they completely obliterated her home, her family. And so most of the characters met in that one battle. And so from that battle going forward into England, the after effects. So that beginning scene, or rather, it's not even a scene. That scene is really central to all of their decision making, I think.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Now, if I remember correctly, No Hero Here was published in 2019.
Yes, August of 19.
which meant you wrote it at least a year, if not two, before. Is that
Mhm.
a good guess?
Yep.
Okay. So now here we are in 2023, and you're working on the second book. Was it challenging for you having that time period in between to then go back to these characters in this universe?
Um, it wasn't challenging. It was kind of like putting on or riding a bicycle. I'm good at that either. I didn't find it too challenging. No, I just wanted to say the reason between the couple of years in between both books was that
Yes.
I had a brain tumor. So I had that removed
Oh,
Oh
no.
my
in
goodness.
2020.
Okay.
And so the fallout from that, when you have brain surgery, isn't always pleasant. Migraines, seizures. So I had to come back from that in order to be able to continue my work. So that was the reason. I saw that listed on some questions, and I was like, yeah, I'll mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind
That's
sharing.
Oh, that's fantastic. I do have a family member that's close to me that has a brain tumor, and so we've helped that family member through. So I'm very glad to hear that you
Mm.
you look wonderful. So I'm assuming you are better, feeling better, and
Yes.
obviously
Yes.
back to writing. So that's great.
Yes.
Oh, good for you.
It was just
Uh,
challenging reading and having a computer screen because that was kind of triggering for things.
Right.
So I had to work
Oh,
through those issues to be able to come back and write.
yeah.
But it was a long story, 300,000 words. So I played with my free time a lot.
That's great.
So it worked out good, I think.
Yeah.
As
Do you
things do.
do you think that you will end up editing down the 300 to like our
Oh, it's
publisher?
not 300.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not 300,000 words.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Cassie will
I'm
have a
sorry.
heart attack. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
no. My book
'Cause-
right now, I think it's at 75,000 words.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry.
But I like to write, and I like to work with scenes, see where they're going, if I like it.
Got
So
it.
I have just a ton of stuff to work with that I had to figure out.
Okay.
And then you piece it
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, I
When
kind
you
of
have a
piece it
plot in
together.
mind.
Yeah,
I'll
scenes that
take
I
this
like.
scene and that scene.
Yep, exactly. Yep. So that's how 300,000 came to 75.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. See, I'm the kind of person where I start at the beginning and I just plow through until I get it done. So I love hearing how other people, work their way through their stories, and that's great. And like Sev said, you could probably market like to your newsletter group all these, omitted scenes or save them for future, who knows.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
I would love to.
That's
Members
neat.
only page on your website.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Members
Yeah.
only. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
I
I do.
could do that.
That's what I
Oh, is that
do.
what you do?
Yeah, I do. So I actually just uploaded two, and I'll probably put out one more before I send out my newsletter. So yeah, deleted
I've
scenes.
seen that. I've seen
Yeah.
that before. I love those.
Yeah. Because then you feel like the parts of your book that you just love and had
Mhm.
fun writing don't, they get to see the light of day. They don't disappear. And
That's
I think,
true.
yeah, and I think it's fun for readers too, just to get that other side of your story. So
Yeah. Well, I can say as a reader, it's awesome. I love
yeah.
discovering that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Was there a benefit then to having this time in between writing the first book and the second?
Um, yeah, for sure. The second book, I couldn't decide on the hero, so I definitely played around with that a lot. So it was definitely beneficial.
Cool.
Yeah.
What kind of research did you have to do for your books, if any?
Well, I actually took a trip to England right before the pandemic, 2020. So
Oh,
I toured the Tower of London. I went to the Scotland Highlands. I went to Paris. So it was exciting, and that was the best research ever.
that's so cool. So you knew you were going to write this book when you were there?
Yeah. Well, No Hero here was already out. And so I wanted to look at the places I had mentioned,
Okay. Yeah.
and it really gave me a good feel for book two going in.
Okay.
knowing what landscapes were really like and what type of
Yeah.
trees they had, animals, that sort of thing. Because
Oh,
it
cool.
really is a very different from where we are in New York.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It
Oh,
was
and
awesome.
yeah. I'd love to go back sometime, but right now I'm touring the New England for my research. Yeah. Did you
New
have a
England
favorite?
is worthy.
Yeah, there's a lot to see here.
Hmm.
Did you have a favorite stop?
Gosh, I really loved Edinburgh. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was it was so much fun to explore.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I explored the food the most, I admit, but the history part was good too.
Did you have haggis?
No, I stayed away from that.
Yeah. So what yeah.
Yeah.
But it was interesting to note that in Scotland, everywhere I went had mac and cheese, and that was great. Never had a bad mac and cheese.
Did you do blood pudding? No.
I am not adventurous in my diet. I have learned over the years that it doesn't pay off well. But I did live vicariously through my sons who were trying out different things. And the fish and chips looked lovely. Nobody ordered a blood pudding. Haggis, I don't even recall seeing on the menu. But yeah.
My husband and I did a month honeymoon because and we went all through England, Ireland, Wales, Scotland, and that was the one dish because I wasn't going to touch haggis, but we did do blood pudding with every breakfast. And it was really fascinating because the flavor, of course, changed as you went from region to region. And so the different herds, I guess you could say, just in the recipes, of course, just changed. It was fascinating. So, okay, cool. So historical romance. I love that. Get to talk to someone else who does historical. Um, what would you say if someone who's never tried historical romance, why should they give it a try?
I would say give it a try because it's not bogged down in a history lesson. It's entertaining.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It still maintains the period without being overly preachy, or you're not going to learn tons of stuff. But I
Right.
mean, it's heavily it's very humorous and there's a lot of romance. And I think if you're going to dip your toe in, it might be worth a shot.
Yeah. We just I just had a chat through Twitter about this topic too, which was funny. Like just last night after I wrote this and someone asked about historical or even fiction in general, should fiction teach their audience something? What do you think?
I don't
Yes,
think
that's it.
so.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
just
That's what
be
history books
entertaining.
are for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I see a lot of conversation between writers and readers about today's values versus what was going on
Mm,
in history. Things were so different.
right.
Um, so trying to incorporate today's values into historical doesn't really work, and people don't like that. But I mean, I really can't commit 100% to the ideas I think of the time
Mm.
because I think there were people back then, and I've read about them who were trying to challenge the
Status quo.
hypocrisy of the day. Yeah, the status
Yeah.
quo. So they did exist, and
Yes.
I think we would do them justice to put them in our characters.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because it's so easy to, I think sometimes with historical to look back and think that everybody thought the same way because that was what society was. And it's not, it's just as rich with opinions and ideas today as back then as it is
Yeah.
today. Yeah, and that discussion too is something that I'm definitely thinking about with my book because I ended up putting a note in the beginning of my second book because one of my main characters is a real person. He's Thaddeus Kosciuszko. He's a gentleman I love from the war, real person. He was from Poland. He didn't speak English very well at that time, so I have some of his letters that I'm learning how he spoke his English, but he referred to women as girls.
Mhm.
And so I really struggled with, in writing his dialogue, do I keep true to who this man was and use the language girls? Does he refer to my main character as a girl, or, do we use lady or women? And I did ultimately go with being true to him and use the phrase girl, and stuck a note in my dear reader. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that. The things we wrestle with.
Right.
We
Like
have
how,
this issue in contemporary, but historical, we have to tread a thin line there, I think, between
Mhm.
historical accuracy and what people want to read.
That's why I write sci-fi and paranormal romance, because my one friend said if you can't get published, then write about purple dinosaurs and outer space and you'll be fine.
I love paranormal.
Same, same. That was my first book at Champagne Book Group, Paranormal Romance.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
awesome. I am really into werewolves right now. I just love the whole thing. I do find that a lot of storylines are the same, but I just eat it up. I don't know what it is. I
Yeah,
just love it.
Yeah,
they're fun.
I just wrote a shifter romance. He's not a werewolf, but he's
Mhm.
a bear. He's a bear shifter.
Yeah. I was seeing those on Amazon too. I didn't even know those existed because I'm just getting into that genre. So,
Yeah, his
oh, good
own
stuff.
subgenre. Yeah. Oh, um, okay. So let's talk about, you describe yourself in your biographies online as a proud wife, an overworked mom, and wicked stepmother to a lovely
Yeah,
blended family, which is
we
fantastic.
are a lovely family. Yeah, so actually, recently we just moved away from everyone up to upstate New York. So I was living in Pennsylvania, was there for 10 years.
Oh,
But
cool.
our kids are grown now. They well,
Yeah.
when I wrote that, they were still high school and elementary, but
Yeah.
since then they're gone to college and they're working full time. So we
Oh,
moved to back home. All my family is up here in upstate New York. So we
okay.
came back here to emptied out our we had a big farmhouse and we emptied it out, sold everything and condensed down to a ranch and it's been
Oh,
great.
wow. Good
I
for you.
know.
That's why you like e-readers, definitely, because it helped you condense. Yeah.
Yes. I'm actually a huge Star Trek fan. When I left, I had a huge, all right, so I did have
Nice.
paperbacks. So I had this huge collection of Star Trek books since when I was 13. I started collecting them and I
Wow.
sold the whole thing to a vintage dealer. I mean, it was pretty funny, but we have just boxes and boxes of Star Trek books.
That's so cool. You're in the right
Oh,
spot then, because you're up near, the Star Trek Museum.
oh yeah, and Ticonderoga.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I didn't go, but I was reading about it.
I have family members who have gone now a couple times. They're very into, Star Trek, and have
Yeah.
met a lot of the classic cast, and they keep saying that, you gotta go, you gotta check it out, walk the decks
Yeah,
of the
Ah,
Enterprise.
I might have to do that. I might have to do that.
I am so jealous.
Steph, you're gonna have to just come visit us.
Mm,
That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your favorite one? You like
My,
Generation, the Next Generation, the
No,
I
the next.
original?
Oh my
I
Yeah, me
grew
word.
too.
up on Next Generation. That was like the family thing. Every Wednesday night, we had a friend whose parents worked for Ben and Jerry's. So we would have him over. He would come over and watch with us, and it was pizza every Wednesday night and the test flavors for Ben and Jerry's. And yes, and actually, before Chunky Monkey came out, we got to test that one, and I remember saying to him, "Oh my God, no, that is never. That's no." And it's like one of our top sellers.
That's funny.
Shot
What a
herself
nice
in the foot
memory.
there.
I do. Yeah, it's a good thing
Yeah.
they didn't listen to me. What did
Yeah.
I know as a kid? But but I'm a Voyager girl through and through. So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Is anyone
What
watching Picard?
No.
Not
No?
yet. Like we've started it. We watched the first episode we had for free and loved it. How about you?
Yeah, I love it. So if you
Yeah.
love Voyager, you should just keep watching.
I should. It looks fantastic, and we just don't have the channel, I think, is the problem. So it's when we can purchase it here and there that we've done it. But
It's the best.
yeah. Are you next generation then?
Yeah, I started with the original crew, then Next Generation when it was out when I was a little
Mhm.
girl.
Yeah.
And I didn't get into Voyager. Deep Space Nine, I shied away from a little bit, but I watched all the movies. Yeah, I went to the premiere nights of all the big films, watched people dress
Wow.
up. I was never one of them, but
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
total sci-fi geek.
My
Aw.
favorite movie is the one where they come down to Earth to save a whale or
Mhm.
Oh
to
yeah,
steal a whale. Yeah,
Steal a
the voyage
whale.
home.
that was my
Yeah,
favorite.
yeah, I love that one too. I have
Oh,
to say, I love the con too. Was it
Mm,
number 2?
mm.
Yeah, I love his Khan, the character. I read they had a book series about him in the Star Trek world, and he's such
yeah.
a fascinating read to me. He's a complex villain. He's the
Mm,
ultimate complex villain for me.
yes.
What did you
They're the-
think of the new Star Trek spin-offs with
I haven't watched him.
Chris Pine and
Oh, I have watched those
Cumberbatch?
movies. I appreciated Chris Pine as the young Captain Kirk, but it wasn't quite the same for me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of running in those movies. They're
Mm.
always running somewhere. Very dramatic. And the thing that I loved about Star Trek, the original series and the Next Generation, was the philosophy behind
Right.
the whole series, the ethics and the non-running scene. So there was a
Mhm.
lot of thought in those series that I appreciated.
See, I
And
like
there's
the
a
action and the
yeah.
adventure. I
Yeah,
like that.
it wasn't about the entertainment value. It was, I think, a little bit more downplayed, and maybe that's why they're not as widely appreciated maybe by the younger generation. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah, that's our tie-in is I like how the fantasy sci-fi does allow you to talk about the things that are a little harder to talk about straight on. You can do those philosophical, ethical questions, but with the separation of the fantasy sci-fi.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is a nice
Yeah.
touch.
Purple
So,
dinosaurs. See?
purple dinosaurs. Purple
Love me
dinosaurs.
some dinosaurs.
Some dinosaur shifters. Here we come. In outer
Oh,
That could
space.
there
be
you
a
go.
thing. That could be a thing.
No.
No.
Dragon shifters, yes. Dinosaur shifters, no.
Oh,
I just saw an ad for one
maybe.
actually.
Yeah.
For dinosaur shifter.
Sure,
What
sure,
was
sure.
it? Oh my goodness.
Or the COVID shifter, you never know.
Faith, getting back to our writing for a little bit, because I'm sure people want to know who maybe haven't even tried a book yet. How do you fit being an author into such a busy life of kids and growing up and just life?
Well, nowadays it's an easy thing being away from family, their friends, the girlfriends. Yes,
Yeah.
there was a lot of people in my life. So when I had No Hero Here, when I was writing No Hero Here, I had a massage business. I was going to school.
Wow.
I was a full-time volunteer at a cat shelter. So I was a cat mama. And then I had my family. So everyone was always asking me, how did you find time to write? And honestly, it was a few minutes here, a few minutes there,
You didn't
anytime I could
sleep?
spare. Never slept.
Yeah.
Never slept. 4 hours was good for me. I don't think I suffer from insomnia, but I mean, I can't even say the word. But anyway, yeah, my head is always buzzing and it's always running with ideas. So I always found minutes somehow, somewhere. I snatched them in between feeding little newborn kittens to my massage business, and I was workable. I think as an author, we have to be workable.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I know I know a lot of us who have set times. They're either up in the morning or they have evening. I'm not an evening writer. I kept by the time 8 o'clock rolls around, I'm usually mush. Anything I've ever written after 8 p.m., I always end up deleting the next day. Oh, this is rubbish. So I do find I have a optimum brain efficiency time, if that's a thing.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely more of a morning writer, and I'll do whatever I have to get those ideas down. And that's how No Hero Here came about. It actually came about a lot faster than No Child Here. But I think staying busy and active was really motivating me to write. And if you have, when I get more time, I get lazy. I'm like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Procrastinating used to be my thing. But being busy and active really made me focus. Get this done, get this done.
Yeah. Were you a lifelong writer and this is the book that took you somewhere? Okay, what got you started writing?
No Hero Here is my second book. I've been writing for about 10 years. Just got sick of reading books that I was like, yeah, this stinks. I could do better. So it was just a hobby. It was just a hobby. And I just kind of stuck with it. And I don't know. I never really had any formal training. I never went to college for English, literature, anything like that. History was always a hobby. Writing was always a hobby. I've been an avid romance reader forever. I used to sneak into my mother's room when I was in middle school to read her forbidden books, the bodice rippers and frock, because it was like early 90s. So it was like Judith McNaught and Joanna Lindsay kind of books.
Oh, I'm glad I found someone who's read Joanna Lindsay. I love her. I have all of her books in paperback.
Yes, well, my mother has them in paperback. And I just remember sneaking when she used to go out grocery shopping. I'd run right into her bedroom and rip out her books, and I'd just be poring over them. It was so funny.
Because your story for No Hero Here reminds me of the one where she's destined to marry the Duke, and she gets kidnapped by a Scottish reaver. You remember that one? She gets kidnapped by a Scottish reaver who confesses that he's in love with her, the Scottish reaver, and then the Duke has to come and rescue her from the Scottish reaver. It's
that's funny. It's very similar.
I'll find you the name, because that's what made me your book reminded me of that, and I was like, oh, I'd love to read it. Absolutely, it's one of my favorite books. Even the spin-off where the Scottish reaver actually finds his love, which was I've reread that book over and over.
Oh, yeah, I would love to link to that. I would read that. Yeah. I don't think I have read that. That's funny. Yes, I love highwayman books.
Yeah.
Math, mystery. I love mystery.
Yeah, I'll send you the link. I have to go look it up now because I can't remember the name. On the spot. Oh my word. Yeah.
Good. I need a new book to read. I'm out.
What advice would you have for someone who is looking to fit writing into their busy life?
I always have to laugh a little bit when people ask me about advice, because I'm always like, I'm the last person I would ask for advice. Oh my gosh. I would just say to anyone writing to just go for it. Just do what you want to do. I mean, that's kind of what I did.
Keep a notebook in your bag, keep your phone handy. As the thoughts hit you, write it down. Yeah. Because you could be in a carpool waiting. You've got time.
Yeah, I love thinking about my books in the car. It's probably not the best idea, but when you're sitting around and listening to music, I find music so inspiring when you're writing. I always have my ear pods in while I'm writing. So
what do you listen?
What do I listen to? Disney.
Yeah. Oh my word, 2 Disneys.
Yes, yeah, you're our second guest who listens to Disney. Oh my gosh. Do you have a favorite Disney movie or soundtrack?
Soundtrack? What do I listen to? I love Pocahontas, the soundtrack to Pocahontas, Little Mermaid. else? What else? Beauty and the Beast. That's my next one.
Mm.
And
Oh.
it's not, I don't listen to the sing-alongs or the song parts. I just listen to the orchestra versions of
Okay.
everything, because it's hard for me to write with people singing. But I love
Yeah.
the orchestra versions of it, because if you're writing happily ever afters, what could be more happy than Disney?
Yeah,
Trying not
you're
to
right.
veer to the dark side in my writing. Just listen to Beauty and the Beast.
She's still laughing.
I know, because it's so me. I'm picturing myself sitting in my recliner with my MacBook, with my Little Mermaid playing, and then I'm la 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 la. That's totally what I do every night.
I can picture you in the
Edit.
car. I can picture you in the car at a carpool. It's thumping. Your car is thumping, but it's Beauty and the Beast.
That's right. That's this girl. So badass. Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Now I
Well,
used
the
to
happiest. Oh, go ahead.
now I used to record. I'm driving to work and I used to put my phone on record and record my ideas. That's what I used to
Oh,
do.
that's neat.
Yeah, so because it would take me 10 minutes to get to work and something would strike me and I would quickly record it. So I have all these recordings saved. So for inspiration.
That's really neat. I like that idea, but I know me, and I would just be making faces in my phone. Can't take myself seriously. But it's
Not
just like
listening
that
to
audiobook.
Disney.
I was gonna say, it's just like the audiobook that came out for No Hero Here. I confess, I have yet to listen to it, because I started 2 minutes and I was cracking up laughing. I'm like, this is my book. It's so funny. So I'm working through it 2 minutes at a time while I die laughing in my bedroom. Oh my God, it's so good. I mean, it's good, but I'm like, I can't believe this is my book.
That's lovely.
Oh God,
Congratulations
it's great
too, by the
though.
way.
Yeah.
That
Thank
just
you.
came out. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh,
I was really
keep-
excited.
I bet. How did that come about? Because I know there are a couple other authors that I've talked to who are trying to get an audiobook.
Actually, I never really, I mean, I thought about an audiobook, but it came about when I did a BookBub sales thing.
Mhm.
BookBub they picked it up for an international campaign. What they do with their email things, and it did well in that run. And I guess Tantor Publishing contacted the agent for Cassie, and they asked her if they could buy it, and asked if it was a series, and I made it a series, and so that's how that came about.
Oh, sorry, I keep muting myself because the Suns are right outside being loud.
Oh no, it's okay.
I am here praising you on mute.
No, we can't hear them.
Oh, you're fine. No,
Oh,
I
that's
couldn't hear
good.
them either.
That's good. That's good. I could, well, because they're your own kids, you hear them like 5 decimals louder than the rest of the world.
Oh, I couldn't hear them.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sure they'll be happy about that too. Okay, so we are out of time. So I do want to ask this question because we are talking romance. On a scale of Hollow Mark Sweet all the way up to Ghost Pepper Spicy, where does your book fall on the spicy level?
I'm told it's Ghost Pepper, but I don't
Really?
know. I think it's 8.
Wow, okay.
I like a jalapeno, but it's not sweet. Yeah. There's bedroom scenes, only a few. I only do a few. I don't focus on that. I like plot. I like plot driven stories. But I do like a side of spice, so it's tough.
You've got it like chopped up and peppered in there. Just a nice happy
Yeah.
garnish in your dish.
Exactly. It's not a big biteful of ghost pepper, but yeah, you'll see it sprinkled out. And you'll
It's
just
well
get a little
seasoned.
bubble. Well seasoned. Perfect.
Nice. Awesome. Okay. So I know we were talking beforehand. You're going to get to us a website so that we can add that at some point to the description below. So
I will.
everybody, yes, please. But where else should we look for you? Actually, before I wrap up, online.
I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, Twitter. I use Facebook. I don't use Twitter that much. I admit I'm on there, but I'm not on there too much. Instagram, but mostly Facebook. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So people
Yeah.
know to look for you, Facebook. They should
Yep.
check out your book, No Hero Here.
Yep.
And please, everybody, like this video, follow us, subscribe, depending on where you're watching. Check out our links below. If you have any questions for Faith that we haven't asked, please put them in the comments. We will get them to her and get you answers. And thank you so much for coming on our show, Faith.
Yeah, it's lovely
Thank
meeting
you for having me. Nice meeting you guys. It's been great. I had so much
You
fun. It's my
too.
third podcast.
Oh, great. Well, then we'll definitely have you back once your second book comes out.
Yes.
Yay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.